Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive into something pretty fascinating. Kelly Osbourne's weight loss journey. Over the last few years, she's lost like a crazy amount of weight. I think it was 85 pounds. And she used a bunch of different methods to make it happen. It wasn't just one thing. We're talking gastric sleeve surgery, some serious diet changes, and even like those high-tech, non-surgical things you hear about. Oh, and did I mention? She had a baby in the middle of all this, too. So yeah, how'd she do it? Let's find out.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable when you think about it. It really does show that there's not just one right way to lose weight. Every journey is going to look different. So let's start with that gastric sleeve surgery. Basically what happens is they make your stomach smaller, like way smaller.
Yeah.
And that helps you eat less food because you get full faster. But obviously it's a pretty big decision. There are risks, and it's not like you just snap back to normal life afterward. There's a lot of adjusting and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds intense. So you mentioned that she also made some big changes to her diet, like cutting out sugar and most carbs. Basically saying bye-bye to all those processed foods. Is that like a typical thing for weight loss?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You hear that advice all the time.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason for it. See those simple carbs, the kind you find in processed foods and like sugary snacks, they make your blood sugar spike really fast, then it crashes. And you end up feeling tired and craving even more sugar.
Oh, I know that feeling, that like mid-afternoon slump.
Exactly. So instead of those simple carbs, you want to focus on complex carbs, the ones you get from fruits and veggies and whole grains. They digest slower, which means your energy levels are more stable throughout the day.
Makes sense. So Kelly Osbourne was basically going for like fewer cravings and more consistent energy. Sounds like a good plan. But how'd she have the energy to work out, especially after she became a mom?
Well, she was focusing on getting the right fuel. Fruits, veggies, lean proteins. It's all about nourishing your body, not just restricting it. So instead of those quick bursts of energy you get from sugar, she was building a more long-lasting energy source.
Like making a trade-off, but a good one. So what about exercise? What kind of stuff did she do? I read she did a lot of walking and jogging, maybe even some swimming and fitness classes. Yeah. Does it really matter what type of exercise you do, or is it more about just being consistent?
That's a really great question. And honestly, consistency is key. You don't need to be training for a marathon. The most important thing is finding activities you enjoy, something you can stick with long term. If you hate running on a treadmill, don't do it. There are tons of ways to move your body.
You're so right. It's got to be something you actually like. Okay, so speaking of things that work, Kelly Osbourne also tried those non-surgical procedures. M-Face and M-Sculpt Neo. I read they use like electromagnetism to tone your muscles. Is that even real?
Yeah, they use electromagnetic technology. M-Face is for the face, and M-Sculpt Neo's for the body. But it's important to note, they're usually used for contouring your body after you've lost weight, not for the weight loss itself. So they help tighten and tone your muscles, which can really boost the results you've already worked for.
Okay, so it's like the next level. After you've already put in the work with diet and exercise, it seems like Kelly Osbourne was really committed to feeling good in her own skin. Like it wasn't just about the number on the scale.
Exactly. It's about how you feel about yourself overall.
Yeah.
Your well-being.
So for those of us trying to figure out our own health journeys, what can we learn from all this? What are the big takeaways?
We've already touched on some of the most important things. Being consistent, finding what works for you, and remembering how important it is to feel good overall. You can't ignore that part. And this is crucial. If you're thinking about making big changes, like to your diet or trying surgery or anything like that, talk to your doctor first.
Good advice. Don't just try to DIY everything. All right, everyone. Take a second to think about what you heard so far. What parts of Kelly Osbourne's journey really stand out to you? We'll be back to dive deeper into all of this right after the break.
Welcome back. So we were talking about cutting out all that sugar and processed food.
Yeah, like I was wondering what you actually get to eat.
Right. It might seem kind of restrictive at first, but there are actually a ton of delicious options.
So like what would a typical day look like on a sugar-free, low-carb plan?
Okay, well for breakfast you could have eggs, maybe with some avocado and a side of berries.
It's pretty good.
Right. And then for lunch, you could have a big salad with some grilled chicken or fish. Or maybe some salmon and roasted veggies for dinner.
Ooh, I like that.
And for snacks, you could have a handful of nuts or some seeds, or even a little piece of dark chocolate, as long as it's high in cocoa. The key is to focus on whole, unprocessed foods. Stuff that's packed with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. That'll help keep you feeling full and satisfied.
Okay, so it's not about depriving yourself. It's more about making smart swaps and finding healthy alternatives. But let's be real, sugar is everywhere. How do you resist all the temptation?
It's definitely not easy. especially at first. It takes a lot of dedication and willpower. But here's the cool part. As you start eating healthier, your taste buds actually adjust. You start craving those healthier foods.
Really? No way.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how the body works like that. And, Kelly Osbourne might have had some extra help. Maybe she worked with a nutritionist or even had a personal chef. That kind of support can make a huge difference.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, let's talk more about those non-surgical procedures she used. M-Face and M-Sculpt Neo. What exactly are they and how do they work?
So both of them use electromagnetic energy to basically make your muscles contract. Like imagine doing a super intense workout, but without actually moving.
Whoa, that's kind of trippy.
Right. So M-Face is for your face. It helps lift and tighten the skin, reduces wrinkles, and gives you a more youthful appearance.
So it's like a non-invasive facelift.
Exactly. And M-Sculpt Neo works on the body, helps build muscle and reduce fat. We don't know exactly what kind of results Kelly Osbourne saw, but a lot of people have had great success with these procedures.
Sounds pretty effective. But do you think these treatments could maybe encourage unrealistic beauty standards?
That's a really good point. Anytime we talk about body contouring, it's important to be realistic about what's achievable. And remember, these procedures work best when they're combined with how's it? A healthy diet and regular exercise. They're not a magic bullet. They're more like the icing on the cake.
Yeah, that's a good analogy. Okay, so we've talked a lot about the physical changes Kelly Osbourne went through. But losing 85 pounds, that must have been a huge mental and emotional shift too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Losing a significant amount of weight, it can change how you feel about yourself,
Yeah.
your body image, your confidence, your whole sense of well-being. And Kelly Osbourne has talked openly about that, about how much more comfortable and confident she feels in her own skin. And she's also said this journey wasn't just about the number on the scale. It was about her overall health and happiness.
That's really inspiring. It's a good reminder that it's not just about fitting into a certain size, it's about feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about Kelly Osbourne's journey, but what about our listeners? What can they take away from this and apply to their own lives?
Well, remember how we talked about there not being one right way to lose weight?
Yeah, you mentioned that.
Right. So what works for Kelly Osbourne might not work for everyone else. It's really important to find what fits your own needs and lifestyle. For example, some people love cooking, so they might enjoy following a meal plan where they prep their own food. But if you're super busy, maybe a meal delivery service or pre-portioned meals would be better.
So it's all about finding what's sustainable for you.
Exactly. It's not about quick fixes. It's about creating healthy habits that you can stick with. It's a journey, not a sprint.
Love that. So what stands out to you most from Kelly Osbourne's story?
I think it's amazing that she wasn't afraid to try different things, to find what worked for her. She had the surgery, but she also focused on her diet and exercise. And she even incorporated those non-surgical procedures.
She really customized her approach.
Exactly. And she was open about the challenges. She didn't pretend it was always easy.
We all face challenges, right?
For sure. And she also wasn't afraid to ask for help. She had a support system.
That's so important. You don't have to go it alone. Okay, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a final thought. If you could combine any weight loss approaches, what would your ideal plan look like? And we're back, talking all things Kelly Osbourne and her weight loss journey. Before we went to break, we were talking about how she really, tailored her approach to her own needs and goals.
Yeah, and what's cool is, it wasn't just some generic diet plan,
Yeah.
or one of those miracle solutions you see advertised. It was a whole bunch of different things that she chose based on what she wanted and what actually worked for her.
So let's do a quick recap for our listeners. What were the most important parts of Kelly Osbourne's journey that we can all learn from?
Well, the biggest one, I think, is that she was consistent. She made changes to her lifestyle and she stuck with them. She also made sure to focus on her overall well-being. It wasn't just about seeing a certain number on the scale. It was about feeling better physically and mentally, and just feeling good about herself overall. And she wasn't afraid to ask for help from professionals either, whether it was for the gastric sleeve surgery, or getting advice on her diet, or even those non-surgical procedures. She had a whole team of experts supporting her along the way.
Yeah, she really found that balance between taking charge of her own health and knowing when to reach out to the experts. Speaking of those non-surgical procedures, M-Face and M-Sculpt Neo, those seem to be getting pretty popular.
Oh yeah, they definitely are. But it's important to remember that they're usually used to contour the body after weight loss has already happened, not for actually losing the weight itself, so they can help tighten and tone muscles, which can really enhance the results you've already gotten. from diet and exercise.
Right. It's like add in the finishing touches. You've already done all the hard work. And these procedures just help to like sculpt and refine the results.
Exactly. And I think it's great that Kelly Osbourne has been so open about using them.
Yeah.
It helps take away some of that stigma that surrounds cosmetic procedures sometimes. It's all about feeling good about yourself. And if that includes a little help from technology, why not?
I love that. It's about taking control of your health and your body and finding what works best for you without any judgment. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Kelly Osbourne's incredible weight loss journey. It's been so fascinating to learn about her approach and the amazing results she's achieved. We hope you found this deep dive helpful and inspiring, whether you're just starting your own weight loss journey or you're already a seasoned pro. There's always something new to learn from other people's experiences. So remember, it's all about finding what works for you, being consistent, making your well-being a priority, and celebrating every success along the way. And as always, if you're thinking about making any major changes to your lifestyle, please talk to a healthcare professional. They can help you create a safe and effective plan that's right for you. Until next time, happy diving.